Persona 3 Reload has failed to solve the P3 problem. What is the P3 problem? Well, it is the issue with the fact that there were so many different versions of Persona 3 that there is no like one definitive, buy this, you get a complete Persona experience package. We have Persona 3 FES, we have Persona 3 Portable, Persona 3 FES only available through buying the game on either PSN if you have a PS3, and then also physically just getting the PS2. At least that's how you get it in an official capacity. Same thing with Persona 3 Portable. Well, not the same thing, but Persona 3 Portable, you get it, of course, on the PSP. That's also on every single console, I believe, as they re-released it last year. And both of those are drastically different versions with different sort of features in each of them. So it's like if you play Persona 3 FES, you're not going to get all the features that Portable has, and Portable not going to have all the features FES has. Some of that being fully like walkable environments. I think that's it. Persona 3 Portable has quite a bit of stuff that FES doesn't have. But anyways, it does. Okay, I gotta say though, with Persona 3 Reload, I was really looking forward to this. Heck, I'm still I would say I'm pretty happy with the game. Although, yeah, like I said, I was kind of walking away from it feeling like, oh, it didn't really scratch the itch of like a definitive Persona 3 experience. It is a new Persona 3 experience for sure, but I don't think it really matches up or even emulates the experience of playing the classic games to a T. Like, although Persona 3 Reload does follow the story beats of Persona 3 FES to a T, it is tonally different, I would feel like. One thing people talk about is the color palette. Persona 3 Reload, much brighter. Now, it's like, is that an artistic choice, or is that just like, I don't know. But it does, regardless of whether or not that was intentional, it does add to the tone of the game. It does affect the tone quite a bit. Another thing that I think is a major difference that changes the tone of the game is the animated cutscenes. Not only are the animated cutscenes just very different, but it's also very interesting of the scenes they choose to actually animate in the remake rather than in the original. The original Persona 3 had a lot more animated scenes, although, the budget wasn't super crazy. The animation scenes were very limited in scope, but I think because of that, they were really unique and creative. And again, added to the pretty distressing tone of Persona 3 Reload. And Persona 3 FES, I should say, not Reload. Reload has super clean, pristine anime cutscenes when it comes to the animated cutscenes. But Persona 3 FES and the original had these really grimy, moody, abstract almost animated cutscenes that are really creative, and I really enjoyed them. So just with that alone, very different in tone. So that alone makes these experiences so much different that it's like you play one to get a different experience, like if I want to experience the story tonally for what I remember it, I would play the original. If I want to play Persona 3 Reload with just like bright colors, I'll play Persona 3 Reload. Couple other things, spoilers for Persona 3 Reload and FES. And Persona 3 Portable, just Persona 3 Story. There is a character death that is reversed in Persona 3 Reload that wasn't reversed before. If you do the special like new interactions they have with Junpei, I forget what they call it. It's like a social link, but not really. And these story events related to a single character will later on unlock like different story beats with the character, different like you get a shine of different light on them, and also eventually get what's the word like an item to summon a persona, like you would for maxing out a regular social link. With Junpei, towards the end of his story, Chidori comes back to life. That I think is ridiculous. I really don't like that. Although it is like a nice, fun, like, oh, things are gonna be okay, you know, kind of thing. I think it really undermines the theme and message of Persona 3, which is that it's like live life to the fullest because life is fleeting. And also enjoy the time you have with the people around you because they also are mortal and will not live forever, you know? So I really don't like that addition. I also didn't like it when they did it with Shinjiro in Persona 3 Portable. If you maxed out his social link, I believe, in Persona 3 Portable, there's a cutscene that reveals that Shinjiro isn't dead, but he's in a coma. So that was kind of weird. I didn't really like that either. Again, really undermining the message of Persona 3. Last thing I want to talk about of why I feel that Persona 3 Reloaded has failed to solve the problem of P3 is that the combat is immensely different. Now, there are some people who kind of like, oh, you just want it difficult for difficult's sake. I don't think it's difficult. I didn't have a hard time with the original. I'm not saying this like in a braggy way. Like, I just generally don't think Persona 3 was a particularly difficult game. It did have a peculiar way you had to play it for sure, but I don't think it was difficult. And just the whole depth of the strategy in the original Persona 3 is gone entirely. This is by far the easiest Persona game I've ever played. And I'm hesitant to play this game again just because I didn't really find it super engaging. It was engaging the first playthrough because, oh boy, Persona 3 remake, you know? But after playing it, I was just so like, oh, that was it, huh? That kind of sucks. Yeah, with the combat, in case you haven't played the original, there's a few major things that are different. One, you cannot control the actions of your party members directly. You can influence them by either doing certain actions on your turn or either setting their AI to to kind of urge them to do certain types of actions. Another thing is that getting knocked down means you lose the turn you spend getting up. I really like that feature because it incentivizes you to be really smart about what persona you have equipped. Also, it rewards you for being smart and using those extra turns in case of a really difficult fight to steal their turn, take their turn, instead of spending it doing an all-out attack that you know won't kill them in the rare instances that happens. You can use that turn to buff, to heal, to prepare for an even bigger attack that will kill the next time. So that's a layer of death that is missing in Persona 3 Portable. It's just like smack everything down and then all-out attack, you win. And then you don't even need to do all-out attacks because the theurgies are insanely powerful. They are almighty damage that can hit weaknesses and provide buffs, provide debuffs on enemies. They are ridiculously strong. Now, I don't necessarily have an issue with them adding super strong moves to the game. I think it's really fun. It's exciting to do. Heck, I play fighting games and I love it when I get meter to do a super. That's fun. It kind of reminded me of that. But man, these things are strong. I wouldn't mind if they were super strong if the enemies were also stronger. You know, so I do really sound like I'm just saying oh, it's so easy. I'm just saying easy, easy, easy. But I want to emphasize that it's not so much of the difficulty, it's just so much of the depth of the combat that is missing. Also, I forgot to mention, you can't equip different weapons. In the original, your main character can equip different weapons. That also affects how the attack in the dungeon has animations and combat that are unique to the main character. I love equipping boxing gloves with the high crit rate on it. And just seeing him like just left, I'm right, I'm left, I'm right on all the shadows. That was really fun. You don't get that anymore. Yeah, I really missed the depth of the original Persona 3 combat. I miss the tone of the atmosphere of Persona 3. I think there have been story additions that really undermined the main theme of Persona 3. So this sounds like a really negative review of the game. I still enjoyed it. If this is your first time playing Persona 3, you're probably going to really enjoy it. But it's not the Persona 3 I fell in love with. And I think that's okay, because I still have that Persona 3. I don't think there was ever going to be anything to actually replace it. So it is what it is. I didn't even like Persona 3 Portable. I didn't even care much for the FemMC, to be honest. I know a lot of people love her. She's a fun addition for sure, but I just get really annoyed whenever I see Alice sneeze, and then every single fan has to be like, where's the FemMC? Where's the FemMC? It's so absurd. I went on a bit of a tangent there. Okay, but that's basically my piece with Persona 3 Reload. It is a fun game. It's your first time playing Persona 3. I'm sure you'll really enjoy it. I probably won't be getting the answer until the DLC is like on sale, because the combat of the combat is just so uninteresting that I'm like, I don't feel incentivized to play the answer, because I already know what happens. I played the answer 10 years ago. But yeah, that's going to be it for my blurb about Persona 3 Reload and how it failed to solve the P3 problem. If you like Persona, subscribe, like the video, let me know what you thought of Persona 3 Reload. Did you play the original? Did you play the Persona 3 Portable? How do you feel about the differences between the story and combat? Yeah, I'd love to hear your piece of the conversation. But that's going to be it for this video. I will be doing playthroughs of Dark Souls 3. Maybe I'll do like a highlight of like a second run, an attempt at getting a platinum of Persona 3 Reload. If you would like to see that, let me know. Yeah, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.